Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I told y'all I was gonna tell y'all the story about Adam. I'm gonna try to make this shit quick. I'm gonna try to do this under 20 minutes, and y'all know I be telling y'all that, and then I don't do that. The shit be long, but I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna just cut straight to the chase. Before I do all of that, thank you so much, guys, for subscribing to the channel, or subscribing, liking, commenting, leaving me beautiful comments. I love you guys so much. Y'all don't even know. I really mess with y'all. I like when y'all comment. Like, leave me a comment. I don't care if you just say, I watched you from this, or I'm from here. Leave where you from. Tell me something about yourself. Is your weekend going great? Did it go great? Or did that nigga do something you had to slap? No,
Bruh.
You know what I'm talking about, babe? Yeah. Now it's time for me
to tell me something. I fuck with y'all. Leave me something. I don't know. I be like, should I just be like, these my homegirls? Because I feel like that's what y'all are. But I know guys watch me too. But for the women out there, y'all my homegirls. I love y'all. I fuck with y'all. Like, leave me a comment. Let me know. It's some people who really consistently comment on my shit, and I see y'all. Since I see y'all every time, I know. I tell you, I take mental notes. If you watch my little stories about these men, I take mental notes of everything. But I definitely see who be really like fucking with me. And even though you don't comment or nothing like that, if you just consistently watch me, I love y'all so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. I don't know how many times I'm gonna tell y'all that shit, but I really do fuck with y'all the long way. Now, since I got that all out the way, if you haven't already gotten your snack and your drink and your herbal essence, well, get it, because we about to get into this video. I ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm about to take a sip. We're gonna get into this shit.
Period.
Okay, let's talk about Adam. So Adam was somebody in the neighborhood that every girl wanted. Every girl wanted Adam, and Adam had to be at least 3 to 4 years older than me. He had to be, because I was 14 and I was lusting over Adam. 14.
Hi.
Okay.
But I wasn't the only person that was liking on Adam. Everybody liked Adam. But anyway, so I would see him around the neighborhood, and I was like, he's so fine, his, that, and the other, da-da-da. Everybody was doing that. Everybody, all the girls was doing that. So, I don't know. As I got older, I noticed that he worked at the same store that I worked at. He worked there for a very long time, because when I started working there when I was 16, he was still working there. So, I saw him, and my mom, she knew him. So my mom would always talk to him and say stuff to him or whatever. You know, my mom was like the neighborhood mom for all the kids in the neighborhood. So everybody knew my mom. So my mom would talk to him all the time, and she worked at the store as well. So when I would come up there, I would see my mom talking to Adam. So I would get all nervous and shit and weird. And I was very awkward when I was younger. I definitely wasn't as confident as I am now, or years down, like maybe in my probably when I met him, I started getting more confident. So probably when I was like 20 to right now, that's when, you know, I was more bold. I could step to a man. I could talk, I wasn't shy and shit. I could say what I want. I could talk. I could do all that. I wasn't shy like when I was a teenager. But anyway, so let's cut to the chase. One day, what? Yeah. I'm almost finished. I'm finna, just give me like 15 minutes. What happened? Turn off the stove. I'm finna cook it right now when I get done with this. 15 minutes. Turn the stove off. Okay. So let's cut to the chase. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. But anyway, so one day, I don't know how this happened, but he seen me. And he had came up to me, and he just was like, I want to talk to you. Like, can I get your number? Da 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 da. He asked me, like, I hate saying da 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 da, because I'm like, what the fuck is da 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 da? No, he came to me. He asked me, can he have my phone number? He wanted to talk to me. And I said, hell yeah, he can have my, I ain't say hell yeah, but in my head, I was like, hell fuck yeah. Let me give y'all a visual of Adam. I know I give y'all visuals of other people, but it's a reason why I didn't give y'all visual to certain characters. But you'll know later on, because I got it. I got you. But this one, let me give you a visual. I told y'all I like me a light skin. He, of course, was light skinned, tall. He had a basketball physique. He was very muscular. He worked out every day and played basketball probably damn near every day. He had a low fade with waves, like the low taper fade with waves. This was in the early 2000s. So this was like 2002. Yeah, no, this was like 2004. 2004, because I'm like, how old was I? I was 20. So yeah, 2004. This is like 2004. See, I know, like, if you don't know, I'm gonna help y'all know for the younger generation. Guys used to wear like baggy clothes. You couldn't really see their body or nothing like that, but you could see his when he would play basketball, because he would wear like a fitted kind of like white tee or like a white beater shirt and basketball shorts or no shirt. That's how that boy, he was fine. So his body was sick. Like he had no hair on his body. Like his body was clean, nice. He was super fine. He had chiseled cheekbones. He was gorgeous. I mean, he could be a freaking male model. He was fine. And he was tall. He like 6'1", 6'2". He was one of them. He was real tall. Very nice, handsome man. Beautiful. Just fine. So he said that stuff to me, and I was taken back, because I was like, what? And the crazy thing is, all these guys that did talk to me, I used to like all of them. I had a crush on mostly every single guy, and all of them would eventually come around and talk to me. So when he had said it to me, I was like, what? So he was like, no, I see you around. I didn't work there anymore at that store, but I used to be up there because my best friend used to work there, so I would go up there sometimes. So he would see me, and he just was like, like, I see you around, I want to talk to you, whatever. I want to get to know you. So I'm like, okay. So we would talk from time to time, but then it went from talking to like, let's hang out, let's go out. So he never picked me up, but one time he had picked me up. Most of the time I would just drive to him, because I would always have my dad's truck. So I probably was like 19, because I'm like, I didn't have my dad's truck as much when I was 20, because I ended up getting me a little car. But yeah, so I had to be like 19. So anyway, I would go to his job a lot. So he ended up not working at that store anymore. He ended up working at this Pizza Hut that's like in the neighborhood. So he worked at the Pizza Hut making the pizzas. So I would go up to his job, and I'd be like in there, or I'd be in the parking lot, because when he take his break, he'll come like hang on the door, and he'd be talking to me, ask me like what I'm doing, da da da. I ain't had no job at this time. I was in between getting a job. So I just be around, like just hanging out or whatever. So he was just like, let's go hang out. So we would go out sometime from time to time. Like we'd go to like a little restaurant or whatever, like some low key like stuff, like nothing major that, or like, it wasn't like when I was with Ray, like we would go out, like he wasn't doing that. Like we would just hang out like around the area or whatever. So we had ended up like talking, but it wasn't, to me, it was nothing major, because I wasn't trying to like be with nobody. I didn't want a boyfriend. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to just have a good time, just have fun. Just whoever I meet is who I meet, and I just enjoy the company of these people, of these guys. But I didn't have multiple guys at this time. I just had him, because I wasn't really like looking to be with anybody. Me and him ended up being together, and I don't know if because we was having, sleeping together, I don't know if because we were sleeping together that made him like want to be like in a relationship. I'm assuming that's what it was, because he was like really like getting more clingy. So like he would call, like if I don't answer him, like if I don't answer the phone, or I don't want to talk to him, or if I don't want to come to his job or something like that, he would tell me like who you talking to, or what guy you got, or like he would like start questioning me and doing all this stuff. Now let me tell y'all this, he was really good in that area. Like as far as like being smashing, it was an A+. But I just didn't want to be like he wasn't doing some things that I like. I like a guy that's like driven, or a guy that want more, that don't want to just stay stagnant in the same position. Yes, you can do all this other stuff good. Yes, you're handsome as fuck. But that's not enough. That's not enough. You got to bring some more shit to the table. I don't know. That's just what I like. And I like that at a young age. I was already saying these things and going after these things in men at 19, 20, 21. Like, I knew the type of guy I wanted. Now, he had his own place. He had a car. He had a job. So he wasn't like he was sorry. It's just he didn't want more. Like, I envisioned more for myself. So I was like, he didn't have conversation. That was a major no for me. Like, if we was talking, it was like surface. It was nothing deep. It was nothing that was like making me like, oh God, like this might be a guy that I could see myself with. Like, it was not that. And I'm telling you, I had a major crush on him, but it was physical. Like, I seen him, I liked him, I thought he was handsome, he was fine. But when I got to know him, I know y'all heard this before. Guys say like they'll see a girl that's really pretty, but then when she talk, or like they get to know her, they don't like her anymore because, yeah, she pretty, she look like something, but she don't have nothing inside. Like, it's just like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, that's kind of like how it was in my eyes with him. I was like, he don't have what I'm looking for. I mean, and I didn't like the fact he was questioning me. So one day I went to his job with my friend and we was talking, and he had his like homeboy up there, and we was all gonna meet and like hang out all together. But I was telling him, I'm like, oh, we gonna go to the mall. I don't know. I think we were going to the mall. But I don't know. We were gonna go somewhere or do something. And he just started questioning me, asking me all this stuff. And I just didn't like that. Cause I'm like, you're not my nigga. Like, stop doing that. Like, I don't like that. Like, I can do whatever I want. If you're my man, you can ask me whatever you want to ask. You can question me. You can tell me you don't want me to do it. You have a valid reason because you're mine. But if I'm not, we ain't on that type of time. Like, don't do that. So I didn't like that. So I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with him. So I kind of like, I don't recommend you do this, but I kind of was trying to like ghost him and not just be a grown up, because I was a kid. And just tell him like, hey, I'm not interested in you no more. I don't want to talk to you no more. So, and I just told y'all, just because we had the, sex, I think he felt like, because we were sexually together, that I'm his girlfriend. And he told me on the phone, I'm his girlfriend. And I told him, no, I'm not. I don't have a boyfriend. We never talked about that. I'm not your girlfriend. So after that, like, little thing that we had on the phone, little fight, I was like, I'm not talking to him no more. So I didn't talk to him anymore. So he started like popping up at where I live, driving around, like trying to find me and stuff, because I would never be home. I would always be gone. So one day I was driving, and I don't know how long it was that we didn't talk. I don't know if it was a couple of weeks or something. I don't know. But one day I was driving, and I seen him. We were like at the same intersection, like next to each other. And he looked over at me, and baby, he started chasing me down with that fucking car. Like, I was trying to I eventually got away from him, but he was on my ass for a good minute, a good while. And he had rolled his window down, and he was like, Jolanda, like, pull your car over, like telling me to pull my car over. And this is early, like, people, remember I was telling y'all people didn't have cell phones like that back then? He was blowing up my cell phone. He was blowing up my cell phone, because I don't think you could block people back then. I don't think that shit existed, blocking folks. So he was calling me, and I was like, oh my God, like, he's crazy. So I eventually ended up talking to him. He didn't catch me that day. I fucking like got away from him, but he ended up calling me, and he just was like, why didn't you pull your car over? What's going on? Why haven't I heard from you? What's the problem? Like, I thought you was my girlfriend, this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, I told you, I don't want to be your girlfriend. I'm not looking for that. I want to be single. I will talk to you, I'll hang out with you, but I don't want nothing serious like that with you. And he's like, that's not what I'm looking for. And like I told y'all, he older than me, so he probably was like 24. He's like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something serious, and I want to be committed and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that right now. That's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm like I don't want to do that. And he's like, what did I do? He's telling me like all this sexual shit. Like, I'm like, that's not, yeah, I don't care about that. That's cool, but that's not, I want more. Like, can you do other things? Like, you just, like, his apartment was like, he didn't even have, his bed wasn't even on, his bed was on the floor. He had one couch, and I'm not saying that we in our 20s, so I understand you trying. You have, at least he got his own apartment. At least he had a car. At least he had a job. And I don't judge nobody in the way they live, because I feel like as long as you're doing things to progress and make your shit better, that stuff is just a stepping stone. What is it? Humble yourself. Yes. Yes, I'm cool with all that. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have slept with his ass on the floor, on that bed on the floor. If I had an issue with it, I would have left. I didn't, because I don't have a problem with that. It's just, I'm seeing that he didn't have the potential to be great for me in the future. I saw it. So let me tell y'all this. Fast forward. We're going to fast forward all the way to like 7 years later. Maybe even 8. Probably 7 or 8 years later, I see him. I don't even see him. Let me back it up. I don't see him. My mom saw him. My mama saw him. My mom was like, he asked about you. I was like, oh shit. Okay, like, I'll see what's going on with him. I'm like, give him my phone number, because he asked me, could he have your number? And I told him, let me call you. So my mom was like, he asked for your number, da da da. So I'm like, yeah, give it to him. So she gave him my number, and he called me. He called me, and he was just like, first thing he said, he was like, Jolanda, I don't look nothing like I looked when we was kids. And I'm like, okay.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
He's like, I'm probably about 40 pounds lighter. My eyes was like, what? That's crackhead. That's crackhead skinny. That ain't no, like, what? 40 pounds? So I'm in my mind like, what the fuck he look like? So he's like, I'm not muscular like I was. This is straight out the gate. This ain't no how you doing, how you been. Hey, Jolanda, I just want to tell you, I don't look like I looked when I was with you when we was kids. I'm 40 pounds lighter. I'm like, okay. And he was like, I'm not muscular. I don't work out. I don't do none of that. So all the way I looked when I don't look nothing like that. And he said, and I just got out of prison. And I was like, what? So, not to say there's something wrong with that, because I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. I don't care. I care if you did something like murdered somebody, or, did something to some kids. I care about that. But other stuff like drugs or, gun charge or something like that, that don't bother me. I don't care about that. That don't bother me. I don't care. Like, we all make mistakes. We all fall from grace. And then, that's when you come back and you do the right thing. So he was like telling me like he had just got out like maybe like 2 years ago. And he told me he had a couple kids. And he was just telling me like all this stuff. And he was like, I really want to see you. He's like, but I was just telling you this because I don't want you to be surprised when you see me. And I'm like, okay. So one day I was like, meet me at, I think I had told him to meet me at like this little Mexican place that I like. I was like, we can meet at this place and we can just have some like drinks on like the little patio or whatever. And he was like, okay. So I get to the place and I'm in the car. And he haven't seen me. I had one kid at this time, so my body like really filled out. Like I had, big old butt, the hips is poking, because I had a sundress on, because this was the summertime. So I had a little sundress on. I had just got this little tat, my little flower tat that I be wearing. I had just got that. So I already got these other tattoos too, but I had this, freshly got that one. So he seen all that shit. And he just was like, damn. like you look good. And he was telling me you look good. And I looked at him and I'm like, he looks terrible. I ain't say that, but my head said that. I'm like, he looked straight like a whole crackhead. He looked, and no offense to people who know people like that, I am not talking about them. I'm talking about this person. I don't know if he was on anything. I don't know what happened in his life. But then he started telling me about his life. He started telling me that, he had went to jail for drugs. I guess he was trying to sell drugs or whatever. And he went to jail for that. he did like a couple years. He didn't do that long, probably like 2-3 years, because he just had got out like 2 years prior to me seeing him or whatever. He told me he had kids. He had issues with his kid's mother. They was fighting a whole lot. He was like, he's a chef now at some restaurant or whatever, and he said that's what he really loved and he really enjoyed is cooking. So he was gonna go to culinary school, and I told him he should definitely pursue that. And then he was like asking me about me, so I started telling him, little stuff. Because at the time I was with my daughters, with my late husband. I was with him, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm with, I told him. And then he was just like, oh damn, okay. And then I told him I had a baby like a couple years prior, because I think my daughter was probably like 2, so I'm like, she 2 or whatever. And I was just telling him like all that stuff. And then he just was like, what happened to us? He's like, I really liked you. I really wanted to do something, like be with you. But he was like, you just didn't give me a chance. And I was like, I wanted to give you a chance, but I'm like, you just wasn't trying to do what I was asking. And I wasn't asking for much. So I'm like, life is just what it is. And I said, I didn't want a boyfriend. I felt like you was forcing me to be with you when I didn't want that. I just wanted us to be cool. And then if it happened, at that time in my life, I was like, oh, I'm gonna just go with the flow. If shit happen, it happened. I'm gonna just go with it. But if it don't, I'm okay. But that's because the toxic ass shit I was going through with my late husband when I was dealing with all the cheating and the fighting and all this stuff. So I was just like at a point where I was like, you know what? If it flow, it flow. If it don't, it don't. But now in my life, that ain't gonna work. I need stability. I need you to know what it is you want to do with me and going forward. And if that's not, you don't see that, don't waste my time. So but that's what growth. But anyway, so we had a conversation, we talked, and then I ain't never ever talked to him again. All that stuff he was telling me about him fighting with the baby mama and all that, and I know I'm in a relationship, so I already know I'm not doing no cheating shit, and I didn't want him like that in the first place. And plus, like he said, he don't even look like he looked when we was younger. Now I thought about it, I said, now what if he would have looked like he looked when I was younger? Would I have tried? I was told myself no, because he was already clingy then. So I'm like, he gonna be hella clingy if I tried to do something now, and I'm in a whole relationship, and they probably would end up fighting each other. So I'm like, yeah, no, that I ain't even trying to go down that way. And he got issues with, I don't want that type of drama either. So I was like, yeah, that's a no for me. But I had already said no when I had talked to him on the phone. I was just like, I'm gonna just meet him and see him, and then we could talk, and then that's gonna be the end of that. So that was cool. He just was doing too much as far as like being like, I want to be with you, I want this, that, and the other. And I'm like, no, let's just get to know each other and chill. Like, you moving quick, like let's just hold up, slow the train down, man. Let me know I don't even know what your favorite color is. Let me know that. And I don't even know his last name. To this day, I don't know his that's crazy, because I know his first name, I don't know his last name. And I know every guy that I've been with or had a relationship with, I know all their first and last name. This one I don't know. That's how much I wasn't even feeling him like that. That's why I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely didn't like him like that, because I would have known a lot of shit about him. Because one thing about me, when I like a guy, I know they motherfucking social. I know everything, your favorite food, your favorite color, your mama name, your daddy name, the last name, your grandpa. I know everything. I don't know shit. So I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. But anyway, that's the end of the story time. If you like this, you know what to do. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. I can't never say this shit right. I'm gonna just have to put this shit on the screen. Turn on your post notifications so that you'll know every time I upload, because I'll be forgetting to say that shit. Leave that, do that type of stuff. And I want to record another video for y'all, but I don't think I'm gonna do one right now. So you probably get a video on the weekend. I'll have y'all video up on the weekend, and it's probably gonna be a Uber story and the story I told y'all about me grieving and healing. So just stay tuned, turn on your post notifications, and you'll know every time I upload, because I'm sticking to 2 times a week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on my next upload. Till then, bye y'all.